agreed bill process. Is it on its deathbed? Has it been blown up? Apparently, the labor movement walking away from the table where the business community is, alongside the governor's office and legislators working on economic issues like workers' comp and unemployment insurance costs, and how labor's impacted and how the business community's impacted. We've got news this morning that the labor movement walking away from that agreed bill process. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Be here each and every weekday morning here with the Center Square, and get the headlines at thecentersquare.com. So earlier this week, I got this email statement from the joint employers. They released the following statement after the AFL-CIO announced it would withdraw from the agreed bill process. What is the agreed bill process? Well, let's start off with an explanation from State Representative Dan Ugaste, who has worked with this process for some time now, and I felt he would be a good person to kind of elaborate what exactly the agreed bill process is all about.
The idea is, so it deals solely with unemployment insurance issues and workers' compensation issues. Both parties come to the table with their ideas of where they believe improvements or changes need to be made, either because of the need to maintain the unemployment insurance fund and the ability to pay unemployed workers, or in workers' compensation, the balance between business and labor on a fault-free, basically a fault-free system that allows injured workers to be compensated and have their medical bills paid while recovering from injuries at work. And basically, it's maintained a balance. It's never perfectly balanced. It's never that it may not need tweaking more on one side or the other, but it's helped maintain a balance in that it won't go forward unless the sides agree. And it's basically designed to make certain that nothing goes too far one side or the other is the goal. Not that it's always worked perfectly, but it's done better than many things we have in place in other with the way we handle some other things.
Now, the agreed bill process really sounds like you're getting into the weeds, and you are. I mean, covering the State House, you've got working groups of Democrats just talking about energy policy amongst Democrats. You've got working groups of Republicans that are just talking about public safety issues with Republicans. You've got the agreed bill process, which brings labor and business groups together to talk about workers' comp costs and unemployment costs, and to make sure that it's nice and balanced. But back to this letter from the joint employers, and they released this statement. They weren't wanting to take part in an interview, but they said for 4 decades, the agreed bill process has set the standard in Illinois for collaboration on difficult and complex policy issues impacting the unemployment insurance and workers' compensation systems. Regardless of which political party held power, the process ensured business groups and organized labor negotiated in good faith to find common ground to protect workers, employers, and grow the economy. Whether Democrat or Republican, every administration since 1982, so the agreed bill process has been around longer than I have, has joined legislative leaders in both chambers in supporting the agreed bill process, recognizing it's a balanced approach and served Illinois well. Indeed, the process has resulted in sound policies that have led to healthy unemployment trust fund with good benefits for unemployed workers, and workers' compensation system that justly provides for injured workers at an average cost for employers. For Illinois to succeed, business need an economic climate that encourages growth, which includes investing in employees. This process is working, with state leaders touting Illinois' recent economic resurgence. During a time of increasing political polarization, policymakers should be looking for ways to maintain collaboration instead of further deepening divides. While we are disappointed organized labor has chosen to lean into the politics of division, we encourage the governor's office, legislative leaders, and rank and file members to embrace compromise and communication and stand by the agreed bill process as a way for stakeholders to work through their differences and drive progress for all. Illinois and our nation need leadership, civility, and bipartisan cooperation. So that's a statement from the joint employers group, and I did reach out to The leading Democrat, who I know has tackled these things quite a bit, Jay Hoffman, he's a Democrat from Swansea, and he wasn't available for an interview. His office said that they couldn't make that happen, but I did get a statement, and the statement, and you can read this at thecentersquare.com, says, "I remain focused on building a stronger Illinois by engaging both labor and business, encouraging conversation and building consensus," Hoffman said. "There's no question the national environment's been hostile to working families, and we need to prioritize policy within our state that uplifts workers. As we return to Springfield, I'm optimistic we will be able to appreciate stakeholder concerns, responsibly work together, and further deliver for working families." Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about this issue Wednesday, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah. This is an old methodology that's been around for a long time. It has worked in many circumstances. I understand the frustration of the leaders of the labor movement about the fact that Republicans across the country have been unwilling to actually cut deals that make sense with labor, and therefore they want action on their behalf. So I understand the perspective. I have to say we've seen the process work reasonably well in the state of Illinois before, but it's their prerogative to choose not to be part of that process.
So I have yet to get anything back from the AFL-CIO of Illinois. I did call their office, left a message, sent a couple of emails to their media spokesperson. Haven't heard anything back from the AFL-CIO. But Dan Ugaste, Republican state representative, he says this doesn't send a good message, and he's worried, but he does have some hope that cooler heads will prevail in the ongoing conversation about the state's business and environment.
My hope is that it's not completely blown up, because in all honesty, it's overseen by the governor's office as well as the two chambers. And it's a decision on whether or not to pass legislation. Now, of course, business and labor are the two vital components of it. The idea is they agree on something and we go forward and pass it that way. The fact that this is being done, as I've indicated to others have asked me, is I believe, a misguided policy. The timing for this is completely wrong, and it sends a terrible message to the nation that Illinois is going to be even more lopsided in its dealing with business, and that we're not going to be looking for additional investment or growth. My hope is that people in the legislature and government are going to work to maintain as much balance in these areas as possible.
How's that going to work out? Obviously, we'll be watching as the legislature returns October 14th for the start of 6 days of veto session, and then they're off for the holidays, and they come back in January where they got to put the rubber to the road and start putting together a new budget, let alone other policies that might impact employers and labor. So how this is going to play out, it's hopefully why you stay tuned to Illinois in Focus Daily right here with the Center Square.